third session on pocket change and how to live successfully and honor God today by being a good steward. We've been in the book of Philippians, if you remember, and we're in the chapter number 4. And we started in verse 10, and last time we ended by talking about verses 14 through 19. Today we're going to talk about verse 19. So the Bible is alive, right? And sometimes you come across phrases or verses that just jump out at you, and maybe they continue to reverberate in your mind. This is one of those. Philippians 4:19. I'm going to read it to you. It says this, "And this same God who takes care of me will supply all of your needs from his glorious riches which have been given to us in Christ Jesus." Now the first thing that jumps out is that God is our provider. And throughout the verses that we've been talking about this week, I reminded you multiple times that this is a thank you letter written by Paul. And he was thanking them for the financial gift that he was given. But God is not just a provider of our finances. He's a provider of our physical needs, our emotional needs, our security, our safety. Everything that we have is a result of God's provision in our life. Lots of times we read stories and we hear stories of in the Bible when God provided, like the time that he fed the 5,000, right? They started with so little and they ended with more than they had. Those stories blow my mind, and I know there's tons and tons of them, but those in particular, it just is really hard for me to, it's just crazy. It blows my mind. And so I know that sometimes when we've talked to you in youth, and it's hard for us to understand and grasp sometimes these stories, that they happen in real today, right? And so I have a story for you of a friend who went on a mission trip and witnessed something similar. So they went on a mission trip, they were serving in a church, and they were putting on a presentation. And they wanted to be able to give the kids that came cookies, okay? So more people came than they anticipated, which is usually always how it happens. And so they actually had to close the doors, and they had all the kids line up inside the church where they were to make sure that they got the cookies before everybody else was served, okay? So it didn't take long for them to realize that, hey, we don't have enough cookies, and probably those 1,200 kids back there are not going to get any, however many there were. So there wasn't a secret stash of cookies in the closet, and there was nothing around them in their physical world they were going to be able to do to get more cookies. So they prayed for a miracle, and God multiplied the cookies. She told me that they got off of that bus with 6 boxes of cookies. They got back on the bus at the end of the presentation with 6 full boxes of cookies. God multiplied those cookies. And it wasn't something that they needed. Nobody needs cookies. It was something that they wanted to bless those kids with, something that those kids don't get every day. God cares about that too. He cares about our hearts, the things that we like. And so if there's some of you that are struggling to believe that miracles are real and they still happen today, they do. And that just goes to show it. There's going to be times in our life that we have lots, and there's going to be times in our life that we don't have a lot. But unlike that ours wavers, the things that we have, God's riches never do. It's always right at his fingertips. Everything is always under his control. Everything that we have need of is always in his glory. And when we don't have much, we have to hold fast and remember those times that either we did or that God provided, right? Remember those times and hold on to that. He's always going to provide in one way or another. And these times and these things are hard to grab hold of and hard to understand, I know, but it's through the mystery of salvation, the fact that Jesus died on the cross, that we get to have a relationship with God and grow our faith and learn about how to trust God as our provider. It's through that. It's through salvation, through Jesus. So 3 keys to living in this tough world around us and being good stewards of what God has placed in our heart. Number 1, be content. Number 2, give to others. And number 3 is trusting God as our provider. I'm not telling you that it's going to be easy or that life is going to all get put into place if you put these things into practice. But I am telling you it's going to be easier, and your focus is going to be in the right place. You're going to bless other people, and you're going to get blessed. Philippians 4:19. God's riches never run out, and he will always be your provider. We'll see you next time.